This is the book of Rachna Bistrawat, the Kargil untold story from the war. तो यहाँ तक हमने पढ़ लिया था. October 2018, Bravery Park Apartments, Dwarka, Delhi. The bell rings just once. Through I way ठीक करता है. Within a minute, Colonel Bonchuk had our golden retrievers parked at his feet, and there, uh, there are three of us sitting around him, completely captivated, leaning back on our old red sofa, a cup of a coffee in hands. Colonel Bonchuk tells us his amazing stories of a grit and courage. Stanley 2025 May 1999, His Holiness the Dalari Drums Residence, Zevischal Cholgamasar. It is a very beautiful summer morning in Ladakh. The sky is the deep cleaner blue of impenstic paintings, and air is crystal clear, and sun seems to be smiling at a colorful prayer flags fluttering in the busy. It is hard to imagine that no far too away dark boarding cloud were looming, clad in a monsoon robes, a gentle smile on his face. He Dalai Lama stands on a portion arm outstretched in blessing. He is facing a large contingent of Ladakhi soldiers in a uniform, bareheaded and unarmed. They to step up him one by one, head bowed and reverence. His Holiness reached out to hold their faces in his hands. He placed a sunga scattered thread around each one's neck. The lamas standing with him hands out small pockets of chinclaps, small balls of prasad, both signifying the Dalai Lama's blessing and are an assurance to soldiers they that they carry his protection to the battlefield. In the age group of 25 to 35, the men are accompanied by the company commander Major Sonam Wanchuk. They have come from Karu, 25 kilometers away, and will soon be on their way to Baltic to join the war with Pakistan. All the men of Buddhist, but this is their time to do their duty as a soldier of a Ladakh Scout, a border guard force that function directly under Defense Ministry. Major Sonam has joined them from 4 Assam Rifle. He is an deputation of from Indian Army meeting over the men spread back to the sparking area. Their trucks their way their way of a vehicle. He can sense their lifted spirit, ensure that his men are not mentally ready for battle. He silently mouthed the pair, Ki so, Lahar Gao, meaning victory of the god. Victory to the god. That morning, the Dalai Lama's was a very crucial. Colonel Wonchuk tells us when we received order to join the war, it was not clear who is interested were. We had heard that they were not regular soldiers of the Pakistani army, but Mujahideen. The larger gossip was that the men manning those highlights were brutal, cruel and inhuman. सीधी आंखों के बीच में गोली मार देते हैं. They shoot to kill. The moral of our young soldier had plummeted. Plummeted. They were appreciative about going to fight an enemy they know nothing about. Colonel Wanchuk say this was conveyed to him by senior junior commissioned officer JCO Subedar T. T. Sening Stroban वीर चक्र. ये लोग तो पहले से ही हार मान के बैठे हैं. कुछ करना पड़ेगा साहब. They said. I fellow these fellows give up before even starting. We all have to do something. Sir Sahab had told them दलाई लामा आए हुए हैं. अगर उनके दर्शन करवा सकते हैं तो करवा दीजिए. दलाई लामा is here. A meeting with him could lift their spirit. The Colonel Wanchuk requested His Holiness to bless the soldier going to war. The soldier going to war. He immediately agreed. We call a Dalai Lama chargingly God of compassion, his blessing, the Chinklap and holy truth. He did given made us feel and that he was with us. I don't know think anyone ate the prasad. All of us keep it in our pocket. It was as an assurance that he would protect us on the battlefield, he explained. 26 May 1999, 6 a.m. Koro to the battlefield. An Army Aviation Chetak helicopter carries Sonam from the Kuru to Dha at a distance of 165 km by road. His troops climb into the Shaktiman truck and starts around the same time. While Sonam reached Dha in a half an hour, the soldier takes 7 hours to travel 150 km to reach Achinathang, 15 km short of Dha, where they set up a camp. After 2 days at Dha, Sonam is told to report at an operational base camp of a Hanchuk Brok, the last post before the line of control (LOC) in the Chorbat La subsector of Baltic. On May 28, Sonam collects his troops for Antichang. His rocket launcher and a medium machine gun (MMG) detachment are taken away for other operations, and so are some of his soldiers who will be used guided by new units who are not familiar with the terrains. He started for the base camp at Hangburg at a height of feet with the strength of a 40 soldiers and the JCO. Major B.S. Kochak, second in command, 2IC, Indus Wing, Ladakh Scout is not Ladakh Scout is not there, but he briefs Sunam over the static line. He tells him that according to some reported received, the Pakistanis have been concreting in the large numbers, nearly a bridge strength of 2,000 on the LOC. There are suspected of trying to come in through Cholbarla. Sonam is asked to take a surveillance and a domination patrol of a JCO and a 10 other ranks of area rockfall in the LOC and verify these reports. The patrol task is to stay there, over, absorb, and report back on the daily basis. Sonam is told to settle his patrol and then return to Hanbok. 29 May, 5 a.m. on the glacier. Sonam and his team of a Naib Subedar, Tunlip Dorji, and a 15 other trek down of the road ahead. They have with them three modules carrying tins, ammunitions, and ration. The soldiers cross into the valley and start climbing to the glacier that looms right ahead. Since they do not have special insulation white clothing that bends into the snowy terrain, all of them have put their warmest clothes, thick brown balu jacket, woolen khaki trousers, and rubbed insulated snow boots. They were thick balavkas on their heads and thermal inners to protect themselves from icy wind that sting the ice and make their nose runs, head downs, and the soldiers poured through the snow for more than 5 hours. Covering a distance of 8 km by 10 am, they reach area rockfall at the height of 18,000 feet. The air is thinner. The temperatures have fallen further, and the men can feel the cold chilling into their bones. They set up camp here. Tents Tents are inoculated quickly and a stove fixed so that revolting hot tea can be made. Sonam takes two soldiers with him and climbs the ridge in front, trying to find out if there any Pakistani soldier is on the other side. Everything seemed peacefully, so I assumed the report of an enemy build up were incorrect, he says. Relieved, he spent the afternoon with his man. Around 4:30 p.m., he returned to the camp with the five of them soldiers, leaving instruction with the Dorji Sahab to climb Pakistani. She slid under observation through the day and climb down climb down in the evening. He had absolutely no idea that enemy is actually around on the west desert line. The situation will change overnight. The very next morning, he gets a phone call from his team of 11 men saying that they are pinned under enemy fire and fast running out of ammunition. 30 May 1999, 13 May 1999, 12 p.m. Operation Rockfall. Within an hour, getting permission from his CEO Sonam out of his camp, he was with the three JCOs and 25 other ranks, fully armored and fully armored and also an MMG detached from other unit. The soldier walked down to the road ahead, and crossed over the glacier carrying on their backs 30 kg Haverstracks weighted down with the ammunition, winter jackets, sleeping bags, socks, sweater, food, etc. Talking to in 19 years later, Colonel Von Chuck says he almost ran through a knee deep snow where was only one thought on mind: if something happens to my man's, लोग क्या कहेंगे. कंपनी कमांडर आराम से बैठा रहा. उसके सिपाही मारे गए. People would have People would have said that a company commander ensured his safety while his men were shot-legged. I could not have lived with their same. The Ladakhi could keep up with him, but the non-Ladakhi component of the team, soldiers who are formed the MMG detached, were not used to glaciated terrain and slowly down, delaying the main body. I am 2 hours In 2 hours, I had reached the mouth of the U-shaped desert with the LOC on my left. The Pakistani were sitting. When I stopped the counting of the men with me, there was just four, the rest of Tarling almost 80 meters behind. Colonel Wanchuk remembers. Sonam decide to carry on, hoping the rest will catch up soon. When he is about 700 meters soon, if short of where he had left his own team, he heard enemy fire soon. The snow around Sonam and his men start flying, when which means the shots are close enough to kill. Sonam ordered his men to drop drop to the ground and take cover. With the screams rent the air. Havaldar Tesing Resign has taken a direct burst on his heart. At the other, watch in horror. A deep red stain spread on the snow under the fallen soldier. They crowded towards him and slip a ground sheet under him, but he is losing blood fast. He keeps saying, "Sahab, बहुत ठंड लग रही है. Sir, I am feeling very cold." There was nothing we could do except wrap him into a blanket. Colonel Wanchuk recounts, his voice heavy with regret. He says the fire coming at them was so intense that he ordered his men stop returning it, concentrate on a hiding instead. The enemy was at a high and out of range of a Insa's rifle. There was no point in wasting ammunition. Havaldar Rezin says, alive for half an hour with the tears in their eyes, he says, he says, his helpless comrades will watch him die with the help of own hands, down to avoid getting hit. Then just as suddenly at as it the started, the fire stops. By the raging is good. The soldier shut his eyes and wraps him into a blanket. When the fire does not resume, Sonam and Havaldar Narang Rangdol, popularly called Havaldar number 11, as per the scout tradition of identifying a soldier by the last two digits of his army number. If his name is difficult to remember, decide to go further. They leave one man behind with the martyred soldier while another is setting down to find the team trailing behind and direct them to take a different route so that they come up behind the enemy soldiers. Sonam and Havaldar number Gare move on, wondering why the enemy has stopped firing. They learned later that Pakistanis had also run out of ammunition and were lugging it down below, which gave Sonam time to reach a splendid patrol. Just as I had feared, the patrol had run out ammunition and my men were hiding from enemy fire to save their lives. Colonel Vanchung recounts. A relieved Dorji Sahab tells him that early morning when he and Havaldar Sonu resigned, along with the two men carrying the light machine gun LMG, had climbed up to watch the Pakistani side of LOC. They had received a big shock. Peeling down, they had found a steep drop where, in the weak orange glow of a morning sun, they could discern four Pakistani soldiers climbing up. They were wearing collapsed boots with spikes to get firm foothold in the snow. Each each was holding two pixels, one of each hand, which they were using pull themselves over up the treacherous wall of ice. Dorji shoot down the first two, while and two behind slipped down and ran away. For some time there was quiet on the enemy side, but Pakistani made an attempt to receive the bodies of two dead soldiers. Dorji managed to shoot down one more enemy soldier. Meanwhile, the enemy post on the regret located the Indian patrol campaigning of a foothold and targeted them with the continuous fire, planning them down. They ran out of the ammunition. Had Sonam not come to their rescue, they would have all been killed or captured. 10:30 p.m. A bright white moon hangs in the sky, lighting up the snow-clad mountains and in an engaging glow. Sonam makes two attempts to climb the ridge but sent back tracked each time by the voluntary of a enemy fire. He realized that he and his men are under enemy observation. He also knows that whoever gets to resort first shall be is in dominating position. He was aware that enemy was be probably trying to climb as well. Around midnight, the moon slipping behind dark clouds, since enemy cannot see them in the darkness. Sonam tells his men to move fast. 11 of them start climbing using their hands and pull themselves up as quickly as they can, rifles slung behind their backs. By the time the moon can by the time moon can rifles slung By the time moon appears behind from the clouds, Sonam and the Ladakhi's warrior were standing on the top of rigid grasp of breath. The Pakistanis are still directing patriotic fire at these base camp even 50 minutes. This is good news for Ladakhi scout. It means Pakistani do not know the Ladakhi scouts. It means the Pakistani do not know that the Ladakhi scouts have climbed up. Sonam party moves quickly along the ridge and discovers the enemy camp at the 40-meter drop. From the position, they had seen a tent with three sentries outside wearing conference white. Even the rifles are covered in white, making them very difficult to be spotted. By then, Sonam party with the MMG detached when the van which had been trailing behind shows up. The other side of Pakistani gets sandwiched between two teams of Ladakhi scout. The machine gunners open fire on the enemy camp below. The firefight continues through the night till the noon. At noon on 31st May, the enemy soldiers eventually lose their nerves. Standing on the ridge, Sonam spots nearly 60 Pakistani soldiers. 60 Pakistani soldiers below, folding their tents and withdrawing. We could not see at least two platoons. They were managed to escape. They fired on them, but they were out of our range. Since I had no radio communication with my base, we could not get a artillery fire upon the either, he recounts. Soon the Ladakh scouts run out ammunition. They start rolling bounders down to slope. The enemy's cheers, who had taken cover inside of their tents are crushed. The bodies of 5 other Pakistani soldiers killed in crossfire lies on the ridge, but the slope is so steep that Sonam's man cannot recover them as serve as a proof of a media that Pakistani had present inside the LOC. Ladakh scout captured 4 Pakistani posts on the resort, but by then, beside ammunition, they have also run out of food. Since their radio set has also broken down, Sonam decided to go down and hung broke. बिट्टू बिट्टू आ गई hung broke to get a reinforcement. Sonam and rifleman Kocha Kadir start from the range at 5 p.m., taking a tricky, tentative route down through rocks and ice. since they do not know if there are still some enemy posts from where they are being watched. They poured through snow and pisting, climbing down to their camps at Hangbong. Mission accomplished. 31st May, 11 p.m. Hangbong. Night has fallen when the two soldiers, dirtily bad, bad rushed, tired and hungry, walk out of the valley, wedged in the pale tense count rays of the waning moon, and take the road ahead to their camp. Major Kotaj, their camp, Major Kotaj is revealed to find them returning safe. When Sonam informs him that the rigid line has been cleared of the enemy, a smile of disbelief spread across their stressed face. He hugs Sonam's and Kadar. Congratulations them on a job well done, Sonam. Tell him. Sonam. Sonam, tell him that they have come back to relinquishment, ammunition, and radiation ration, but before that they would like to eat because they are famished. Steaming hot chow mein is immediately ordered for mouths with a loud chopsticks. They drink big mugs of hot Kargil tea and energy level up. Decide to trek back to the area rockfall before sleep can claim them. Sonam feared that if they delayed, the enemy might regroup the attempt of counter-attack. Three sturdy mud are loaded with ammunition, ration, and medicines. Seven additional soldiers, fresh and sped, are proved at midnight. The team start back for a glacier. Their path is lit by the moon that has breathed the entire snow-capped landscape in the ghostly white glow. The soldiers are in no mood to enjoy the earthly beauty of the terrain. They trudged on the one way, weary step after another, the route relatively familiar to now. They cross into the mouth of the mountainous semicircle where they had earlier ambushed by the enemy. It is silent now, but they remember raging, bleeding body lying on ground sheet on the snow, their hearts giving for the loss of the brave comrade. By 5 a.m., they reach the rest of the team, who are received to see food and ammunition. We spent the next 14 days patrolling the area on the enemy's side also. We could see Pakistani army patrols, but they did not attempt to another evacuation, Colonel Manchuk recounted.